It's Monday and I need to ship out some of the vintage toys, games, and books that sold over the weekend. So let's take a look at what sold. First up, somewhere up in my stuffed toy shelf, I've got this special collector's edition of Linus from Snoopy or Peanuts or whichever you want to call it. I always say Charlie Brown, but it's technically Peanuts. Anyway, it is Linus. He's got his signature blue blanket and it's got a card inside of it that talks about the first appearance of Linus in the comics. I think comic strip covers it. I don't need to say comic after it, do I? So this is a collector's edition stuffed animal, kind of a Beanie Baby, but that sold today. Then next, I found a box full of car tracks. Let me just show you. So at an estate sale I went to, I found a whole box full of like electronic racetrack stuff, and it's got like the little gun thing that you use to make it go, and it's got like a little steering wheel thing and a bunch of these tracks. As you can see, I know very little about them. So what I did was, there's so much in the box that I just took like different parts of it, this one being 4 short 5-inch pieces of track, and I just sold them for like $5 because I got it because I'm like, oh, people might be interested in this, and then realized that I know nothing about them and I don't know how to list them, what they're worth or whatever. So I'm just selling them off little pieces at a time for like $5 because I don't know, I shouldn't have bought them. But clearly other people do know about them because these little pieces of track are going pretty quick at $5. So I'm clearly giving them away for way less than they're probably worth. And then over here with our puzzle collection, I have this vintage 300-piece Donald Duck Walt Disney puzzle. So this puzzle itself is 300 pieces, and it's from a time when puzzles were made very differently. So we put together all of our puzzles. We actually make sure that the pieces are there and that they're complete before we sell them. And this particular puzzle is very, very difficult. It says interlocking on the box, but I would say it should say interlocking-ish. It's no rhyme or reason to a lot of what these shapes are, and then occasionally it has just big giant shapes. It has little tiny shapes that have just a rounded edge. That doesn't interlock. There's no interlocking to the piece that goes with that. It took us a long time to put it together, and it's a detailed photo that has tons of blue sky at the top, but it is complete. So that's going out today, and not sure what the year is because Walt Disney is very well known for not putting the copyright date on any of their stuff. Then over in my book collection, from 1956, Moonbeam and the Rocket Ride. So this is a story about a monkey named Moonbeam. And apparently NASA has hired Moonbeam, NASA got a monkey. But Moonbeam is going to be a test astronaut for NASA. So they have Moonbeam go on the little spinny thing that they show you that astronauts do in the movies. Next thing you know, Moonbeam is in orbit around the Earth and of course has to make an emergency landing. Oh look, it's just like I Dream of Ginny. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. So that right there is Moonbeam and the Rocket Ride. Actually, I've got 2 more books that went today. From 1990, I have Alvin and the Chipmunks, Alvin's Daydreams. So this is a golden book and it's based on the Alvin and the Chipmunks cartoon, but it's actually from years after the NBC Saturday morning cartoon was actually on television. So it's a little bit different. It's kind of like they were trying to build nostalgia for the kids as they got older or get a whole new generation. But this golden book here shows Alvin daydreaming in class about being tons of things. A pirate, a baseball player, a cowboy. And then, of course, Dave has to have a talking to about paying attention in class because you have to learn a lesson. It's a golden book. And frankly, I might say this is the only Alvin and the Chipmunks cartoon book that came out based on that series. So it's the only one I've ever seen. And that one went out today too. And the next book, Bunny Tales. This is an illustrated children's book, more of a toddler-based book, sort of a nursery book. And it is stories about bunnies, but the best part is the artwork in this is really, really cool. So you got the bunny there leaving home or going to school. I don't know what the story is. I'm literally just looking at the artwork. And you got Father Bear reading the paper and the son holding him up with his head, maybe? I'm sure that's not what's happening, but that's what it looks like on first glance. So yeah, this one's going out today and it's got some great artwork in it. And then part of some of the paper ephemera that I get, technically it's a toy, but it is a bridal party cutout dolls set that comes in a box. And it says here, 5 smartly styled dress and stand-up dolls. So paper dolls, of course, being you get these cardboard cutout people, dolls, as they were. And of course you get a man doll. Actually, that'd be a great band name, Man Doll. And then you stand those up and cut out these different outfits that have the little strap over them and put them on top of the dolls to dress them up in different outfits after you cut these out. And this one is for a bridal party. So although this doesn't seem very bridal-like, maybe this is for when they meet. Maybe you can do the whole meeting the person to setting up the bridal, like do the whole thing, just plan out a wedding. I have no idea, but there's some cool illustrated artwork inside of it. And there's no date on it, so I'm gonna say maybe it's from the 60s. I can't remember when paper dolls started to fall out of fashion. Ha, fashion. Ooh, some cool font on it too. So, bridal party cutouts. And then one last thing from my game collection, the original Aggravation game. So this game is from 1962, and I can't hold it up all the way because it has marbles in it, but it's essentially a pegboard? I don't know. It's a board with holes in it, shaped in kind of what I would say is the British flag, and different colored marbles, and somehow they go in different places, and you roll dice, which we have right here, and that's the game. I don't know. The instructions are underneath. I'm not going to read them to you, but you can see there's more of like the pegboard and all that kind of stuff. It's a game that I've seen occasionally, and people always seem to be very excited when they find it and then buy that from my store. So there you go, Aggravation. So those are all the things that I sold from my vintage toys, games, and books collection in my online store today. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel or visit my website at thepopcultureroadshow.com, and you can check out my store and all the other things that I have for sale in some of these videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.